Now, our daily look at the good, the bad and the ugly from the Olympics. John Crowley, let's start with the story of the oldest competitor at the Games.
Yeah, well, for those of us approaching middle age who still dream of, taking part, here's a great example. Hiroshi Hoketsu, he's a 71-year-old Japanese equestrian rider. He took part yesterday. His first ever Olympics was the 1964 Tokyo Olympics. So he's come back, taking part in the dressage. He finished 17th out of 24th, very respectable.
Last time?
No, this time. This time.
Oh.
But he did very respectable, and although he didn't win a medal, he certainly won a medal in self-deprecating humour. He was said, at your age at 71, kind of what drives you on, and he says, well, I just want to get better and better. And then they asked him, are you going to be taking part in the 2016 Olympics in Brazil? And he said, no, my horse is too old, Whisper is too old. So I think this will be the last of him, but come on, 71 years old, what a fantastic achievement, what an inspiration to everyone.
And I believe actually he's put in some really personal sacrifice because he's been away from his family.
Yeah, he has. I mean, it's from his children and grandchildren as well. We've got some breaking news here as well.
British gold in the rowing.
The sixth British gold in the sculls. We were just checking this after. This is Kath Granger and Anna Watkins. We're clearly doing very well in the sitting down sports, the cycling and the rowing. We're doing fantastic in. So that's another one.
All right, now let's turn to some of the bad stuff. We've had some spats between athletes at the Olympics over the years, and this year's proving no difference. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, we love the Olympian spirit, but I think what people hanker after is those real kind of personal battles.
Yeah.
And we've got one down on the south coast in the sailing. Ben Ainslie, he represents Great Britain, 3 times gold medal winner. He's up against Johan Hugh Christensen from Denmark. And yesterday they were rowing, and Christensen accused Ainslie of hitting a mark, and another competitor from Holland also accused him of doing the same. So he did the penalty, came back round, beat both of them, walked off in front of the team cameras and said, without a trace of irony, they've made me angry. You don't want to make me angry.
Wow.
Yeah, and Christensen's come back and said, this is really bad comments in poor taste. I believed he hit the mark and he had to do the penalty, and if he didn't think he'd hit the mark, he could have gone on. Ainsley, for his part, said, well, he would have had 2 against 1, complaining afterwards, and he could have been disqualified. But we love these little battles. I think casting your mind back, looking back to other good ones, I think the Australians and the Americans, Gary Hall Jr., I think in 2000 at Sydney Olympics, said they would smash the Australians in the 100-metre relay. The Australians won it and then got out and started strumming air guitar at him. Okay. So what a riposte.
All right, let's move on to the ugly. I mean, okay, the cycling has started, and obviously the British hoping to dominate in the velodrome once again, but first day threw up some problems.
Yes, in the team sprint for Great Britain, we won gold. We have 3 competitors taking part for each team, and Philip Hindes, afterwards, he came off and said, and this was during the heat, it wasn't during the final, he said that he'd deliberately fallen off his bike because he'd had a bad start, which doesn't sound to chime in with the Olympic ethos. He later went on and corrected himself and said, he'd actually inadvertently fallen off. You're allowed to start again, basically, if you fall off because of mechanical failure or if something goes wrong. So this has prompted huge protests from the French, who they eventually faced in the final, and they're saying, well, look,
but there's no risk of them losing.
There's no risk. Well, no, the team, the federation has said there's no risk of them losing gold. So the French have just been reduced to saying, well, you've got to change the rules here because it is clearly wrong. And the French websites have been a little bit more forthright about whether the British have been working along to the Olympic spirit or not.
John, thank you very much
Pleasure.
for bringing us up to date.